My trailer uses conventions of real media products as my trailer begins with the equilibrium stage, which follows Todorov's theory. The mother and the daughter are walking into the house with shopping bags, which shows they have just been doing their grocery shopping.
Since you've been my foster mum, I've never been more happy.
This can relate to the film When a Stranger Calls, as the daughter arrives to the suburban house to babysit.
I could have at least driven myself, Dad.
I don't want you driving home alone this far so late at night. Wow.
You must.
The voiceover used in the equilibrium stage says, "I'm so happy you're my foster mum," which already gives a background story to the Jasmine character. I also use conventions by showing the vulnerability of Jasmine by getting her to undress in the mirror. This suggests that she is exposed. It also suggests the male gaze theory by Laura Mulvey. The next stage to Todorov's theory is the disruption stage. In my trailer, this stage is when Jasmine gets told that she is being watched.
What's up? You've been receiving letters that you're being watched.
However, in Gone Girl, the disruption stage comes around the same time as mine, when the narrative says, "Did you kill your wife, Nick?" So in a way, I have formed with conventions.
Did you kill your wife, Nick?
However, I give hints that the disruption stage is approaching when Jasmine is being watched through her window and breathing is heard in the background. I would say that I have challenged conventions here, as most disruption stages come later into the trailer, just like they do in When a Stranger Calls.
Be with you, but
Recognition comes next, when Jasmine realises it is her dad and her tone sounds angry, due to finding out that her dad has been watching her. This could connote that she is angry at her foster mum for not telling her he was out of prison, and it could mean she is not afraid of her dad but is more angry for some reason.
Why didn't you tell me he was out? Who? My dad!
Hi, babe!
Yeah, of course I'm coming tonight.
This uses conventions as it is also shown in other psychological movies such as Gone Girl, when Nick says, "I did not kill my wife."
My wife, Amy Elliott Dunn, disappeared 3 days ago. I had nothing to do with the disappearance of my wife. I have nothing to hide.
Amy got friends.
The next stage is when there is an attempt to repair. This is shown in my trailer when Jasmine is talking happily on the phone. She says she can't be scared forever, which shows she is overcoming the threats from her father. This follows the final gal theory by Carol J. Clover, as she is showing bravery here and not vulnerability.
Yeah, but I can't be scared forever.
This can also be seen when a Stranger Calls, as Jill, the protagonist, continues to argue back and fights her way through. This is another example of how I use conventions from real media products.
Stop calling me, you
Jill,
sick...
it's the police. We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. Hear me?
The montage towards the end also shows disequilibrium, as the shots used are short, to give hints to the audience that her father's actions escalate without giving too much of the story away. A montage like this can also be seen in When a Stranger Calls. Both my media product and the real media products both use the blink image towards the end of the montage, with increasing sound levels in order to create tension between the audience and the trailer. This creates suspense. My trailer uses real media conventions with semantic elements such as the letters which are used in the trailer to show Jasmine that it is her dad watching her. This is considered to be a traditional form of communication. However, I wanted to develop my ideas instead of using the simple technology idea.
Who? My dad!
Technology is used as a form of communication in When a Stranger Calls. This is where I developed the idea from.
Hello? Hello? Who is this?
I also used a burglar mask to help keep the identity of the father a secret from the audience. In the short montage clips this can be seen. This is to create enigma. Representation can be shown through the clothing which the characters are wearing in my trailer. Clothing such as white and pink tops are used for the protagonist to show her vulnerability and femininity. However, tracksuits and dark clothing is used for the antagonist. Due to him being the stalker, he needs to be dressed as though he was trying to blend in and hide himself. This can also be seen in When a Stranger Calls when she is wearing pink and the antagonist is wearing black. This suggests that they are conventional costumes in this genre.
This feature cannot be.
Have you checked the...
Semantic elements such as the location used in my trailer, like the nice house in the neighbourhood, shows that stalking can come as a shock to anybody who lives a normal life. I've also shown locations outside a college and inside a car. This is to suggest that the father is watching her mostly all the time. I've shown locations to show he is invading her personal space and areas she is supposed to feel safe in. This type of theme is shown across the psychological thriller genre as it makes viewers feel uncomfortable due to its direct connection to reality.
Stop calling me, you
Jill, it's the
sick...
police. We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. You hear me? It's coming from inside the house.
My trailer forms with convention. It uses institutional conventions such as Fox Searchlight and Universal Studios, who are very well established. A lot of psychological thrillers use Regency, but I have challenged this. I haven't included billing blocks at the end of my trailer as this can be seen as conventional due to When a Stranger Calls not having it either. I have included the release date, which is also conventional for psychological thrillers, especially because my release date is Halloween. My trailer uses representational conventions, as in my trailer, the stalker is seen to hide his identity and always be seen watching Jasmine. My antagonist is shown to be shady and has intention for violence. His broad build makes the audience assume he is rough. I did this on purpose as men who have just returned from prison tend to have used their time inside to bulk up or get fit. His dress sense has not developed since he was put into prison 18 years before, and so he can be seen wearing a cap, jogging bottoms and a jacket. This can also represent that he was working class before entering prison. The antagonist holds the authority figure in my trailer. The protagonist also follows the stereotypes of being a typical girl. She wears pink clothes and shorts, all which expose her vulnerability. Throughout the trailer, she is seen wearing less and less makeup. This is to convey her stress from the father trying to contact her. She is very youthful, just like an 18-year-old should be. Judging from the neighbourhood she lives in, I would suggest that the foster mum and her come from a lower middle class family or background. The next character is the foster mum. She isn't really noticeable in the trailer, however, her representation changes throughout. At first, we see her as a loving mum, and then we begin to notice she could be involved with a psychotic father. These hints include when she grins at Jasmine's distraught, the fact that she knew her father was out of prison before Jasmine did, and finally when we see her walking up the staircase with a knife in the montage. In my trailer, I used a variety of shots to broaden my cinematography. I have included medium close-ups, extreme close-ups, long shots, establishing shots, and so on. I found establishing shots and extreme close-ups to be the most conventional in psychological thrillers. This may be due to the fact that establishing shots show location and extreme close-ups show facial expression. I developed conventions by applying over-the-shoulder shots to my trailer. This allowed the audience to see what the characters are holding in their hands. My typography in my trailer is effective as it allows the audience to get a sense of the storyline and narrative. It is conventional to have captions in the psychological thriller genre, and an example can be When a Stranger Calls. I have adjusted the captions so that they move closer on the screen to emphasize them to my audience. At one part in my trailer, the captions allow me to split up 3 screens into 3 short scenes and help link judgment to the characters. You can't trust anyone appears, and the mother is shown towards the end, signifying that she cannot be trusted. Captions can also help build tension with my trailer. The colours used are a simple black and white, and this is to link the trailer to my house colours used in my ancillary texts. The caption, which says "This Halloween," also allows me to tell the audience that the day of events in the film is on Halloween night. I have used editing in my trailer, as I have used a fade at the start of my trailer and cuts throughout the rest. These can also be found in Gone Girl When a Stranger Calls. My trailer also has a montage which is conventional, as psychological thrillers want to create suspense, especially when it's to do with a stalker. This can also be seen in When a Stranger Calls. Showing multiple shots but in a variety of short clips helps the audience to get a hint of the storyline without it being ruined for them. I've used conventional sounds in my trailer by downloading Paranormal Activity and Insidious sounds. I then listened to them and took the best bits I wanted and placed them where they suited. Just like when the sound kicks in at the end of my first caption. I have done this on purpose to allow the occasion to sink in, which is Halloween. I have used a piano sound at the start of my trailer to show equilibrium. Towards the end, I reintroduced this piano sound to attempt to repair. This would be me challenging conventions of Todorov's theory. However, some thought that I reintroduced equilibrium. Another convention I used from When a Stranger Calls is the structure of the montage music. I used short clips from the Insidious track to create a sting sound on repeat during the montage. As the montage processes, the sting sound gets louder, and a siren sort of sound can also be heard to connote that there is violence included. This is to create more tension and stress. I believe I have successfully used sound to break up the different stages of Todorov's theory and get it across to the audience.